But Thom, like, what about other things you do outside Radiohead? Like, I mean, Friends of the Earth stuff and loads of things. When you get involved in these things, do you know people are going to throw stuff out saying, what's a bloody rock star getting involved in this stuff for?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And is it difficult? I mean, is it like, do you feel as though if you don't give it 24 hours a day, which obviously you can't, that therefore somewhere you're probably failing? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Are you talking about music stuff or
no, I'm talking
political
about
stuff?
Extracurricular stuff outside music, where some people would listen to you because of who you are, be it a kind of an Amnesty or Friends of the Earth or eco-friendly living.
The Friends of the Earth thing that's been a particularly tough one because
that's the Big Ash campaign.
Yeah, the big ask.
Yeah.
Which you know, hopefully is going to come to fruition. Hopefully, the British government, despite everything else they're doing, are about to pass a law which commits us to reducing carbon emissions by, 90% by 2050, which will be pretty radical. But I was, what would they call me, the special representative of the campaign, which, it was a bit of a...
Did they ask you the term? Did you?
No, they came up with it. I was like, whatever. But because they told me that, and then they told me it was the big ask. But anyway, that was a hard thing to do because that was very political. Because Friends of the Earth are very stuck inside the Commons, lobbying and all that sort of stuff, and it's a bit sort of woo. But it was equally, I find that element of things really fascinating. But it was very stressful, and initially, especially because, in some ways the last person on earth who needs to be talking about this stuff is a rock star. But for some reason, they thought that was a good idea. And I can kind of understand why they did now.
It stinks badly.
We think the same things at the same time. There are too many of us, so you can't count.
See, the big song from that solo album is a song that you were enraged about something that happened, that the British government could allow somebody to be driven to suicide.
Yeah,
Harrowdown Hill.
I wouldn't say exactly enraged, more haunted by the idea. I just found it, the anger was sort of a fairly pointless thing, really. I found it deeply sinister and alarming that that had happened, regardless of whether he did it to himself or it was done to him. And deeply sinister the way that the government used to deal with his family, and under the circumstances, so on. And the anger, I think, was much more about the general sort of what the country was up to going into Iraq.
Same things at the same time. We just can't do anything about it.
And Ed, you referred to Thom's kind of political whatever earlier on as though it was Thom's. Do you go along with the stuff that he does or what he says? Or is there any times, like I'm sure like Adam Clayton might sit there going, my God, Bono's not doing that, is he? Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's funny. I mean, to be honest, we probably think quite similarly on a lot of things. And
implying that some of the other members of the band don't?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a good dialogue. And I had a good one on the plane with Colin just now. So we disagree, and it's good. It's really important to disagree. So we've read a lot of the same books, and you're probably asking the wrong guy. You should be.
Well, when these things come up, like the Friends of the Earth thing, when I chose to do that, I said, look, I will take full responsibility for this. At no point am I going to make anybody who doesn't want to doesn't want to, this is my problem, sort of thing, But at the same time, when we chose to start touring, I came and chose to do a tour again, which I initially didn't want to do at all because of the environmental thing. Everything was, I brought a whole load of some big heavy bags with me to the meetings about all that sort of stuff. And to varying degrees, people are happy to go along with it or not.